What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyzilla83. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. If you would, at the end of the video, please like, comment, share, and of course, if you haven't already, tap the subscribe button down below. We're talking about the first-person mech shooter. Nope, not Titanfall. It's called Hawken. That is the title, and it's been around, actually. Its first initial launch date was December 12th, 2012. Yeah, nearly 4 years ago, believe it or not. But it just launched on the consoles at the beginning of July for free. Now, I'm going to go into the positives first, then we'll go into the negatives. Right out the gate, you have 11 different maps to choose from to play. Well, you know, to play. That's, to me, anytime you have that many maps and the game is free and it's a multiplayer shooter, that's neat, right? Like, okay, +1 column, all right. The other positive, 6 different total modes. You have a team deathmatch, a deathmatch, a siege mode, co-op deathmatch, co-op team deathmatch, missile assault, and a co-op bot destruction. There is no offline mode. Again, it's multiplayer only, so that's neat. Boom, 11 maps. Okay, 6 different modes, so we got a lot of different things to do on these maps. That's cool. Another positive, the actual customization of your bots. And I'm not just talking about, like, upgrades. You've got lore behind these mechs. You've got upgrades, consumables, cosmetics, taunts, HUD display, cockpit, all these things you can change. Not to mention stickers that you can buy, skins. You can change the color of your HUD, which I think is neat. You can purchase, I said taunts, you can actually purchase taunts with in-game money, or, yeah, that's right, or actual money that you can spend out of your own wallet. I don't recommend doing that. So that's huge. That's pretty cool. Like, I won't say huge, but that's a pretty big deal. These 3 positives, I think, are enough to tell you, yeah, the game is worth downloading and at least playing for 30 minutes. It's at least worth a little bit of your time. Who knows, some of you could even, you know, because it's free, you know, and because you're kind of leveling up your guy and everything, and you're adding these upgrades and things and cosmetics and all these different things that you can do to the game, there's kind of an addiction there, this want to upgrade to a new mech. That's another positive. You have a ton of different mechs that you can eventually, after leveling up and getting some in-game currency, you can actually upgrade to a different mech entirely. So you can end up with a library of just different mechs that you can use for each map, and you can use them anytime. You can switch out in any map. You can switch out to these different mechs that you've purchased. So that's, again, these are some pretty big positives for a completely free, quote-unquote, beta game from a small studio. Those are some, okay, good positives, right? Let's go into the negatives. Just play one round. I mean, the negatives are all in every single time you fire the game up. Combat at times can be somewhat fluid, but about 75% of the time they're not. The optimization of this game, when you consider the fact that one would assume that this game has been in development for 4 years, you would assume that the transition from PC to console would be a little bit smoother when you look at the actual combat. It's just buggy. It's you know, some of the rendering is really, it takes it a minute. And that's in any mode. That's not just necessarily in live combat. That can be when you're trying to customize one of your mechs. You'll notice the rendering's a little bit behind sometimes. Okay, that's that's why I'm not even going to add that to my negative. But when you're in the middle of a map and some of the map is taking a while to render, when you have frame rate drops in the middle of combat, when it feels like the game, to me it feels like they just started this game like a year ago, you know, in terms of the actual combat. Everything else surrounding the game is neat until you actually play the freaking game. That's what's wrong with Hawken, and that's why I say it's worth a download, but I would never, ever spend a dime on this game. Whether that's DLC, in-game, whatever, you know, buying paint schemes or stickers, skins for your mech, don't ever do it. And because of how bad the actual gameplay can get, it's just not well optimized. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to give you a hint. If you do download the game, and you'll notice out the gate, yeah, the combat is it's buggy. It's again, that frame rate drops. It gets just kind of glitchy, you know. It doesn't feel smooth. You can actually hit your start button, go to your options, and there's I think it's controls. I forget what. I'm sure someone will comment down below and correct me. But there's a cockpit lag button that you can actually turn all the way down, and it does help on some maps, and it takes away that lag that you feel in the middle of combat inside the cockpit. I can't get over how bad it is. Now again, when you're fighting a foe who is halfway across the other side of the map, and you're fighting, yeah, because they're so far away, that's fine. You know, there's no real issue there. But when you're in close quarter combat with 2 other mechs or whatever, it just gets bad. And something else I'll add to this, and I'm not going to say it's a positive or a negative or anything like that, but here's what I think would have helped this game immensely is that it's to have that third-person option. To be able to see your cockpit and to view things from your cockpit is neat. It's cool. As a guy who is a big fan of simulators, spaceflight sims, a big part of that is cockpit view, is being able to see things from inside, you know, whatever you're piloting. That is neat. But I think what would have helped this game immensely is to have another option in third person, from the third person point of view. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's that third-person shooter biased coming out of me a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like the game would have... I think it would have handled better, and it would be a better game if you had that extra option where you could do either or, you know. So, that's just me. I don't know. Do you agree with me? Am I crazy? Do you think this game would have worked better? You know, maybe it's fine as it is. They just need to optimize the combat. I agree with that to a point. Let me know down below in the comment section, guys, whether or not you've played it, if you have, or if you have any interest in playing the game or not. And if you have played it, your opinion on the game. I'm really curious what you guys think about Hawken. Again, free across the board, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Unless you're just a hardcore first-person mech shooter fan, I don't think that this game is worth keeping on your hard drive. It's worth a download. It's worth checking out for sure. Play a few rounds, see what you think, but I don't think it's worth keeping on your PlayStation or your Xbox. Keep in mind, this was a first impressions video as well. 10 to 12 total hours played. You know, that's where I usually, if I don't do anything beyond that, then I call it a first impressions video, and that's exactly what this was. That's it for me, guys. Thanks a lot for checking out this video. And until the next video, you guys try like hell to be kind to one another. Peace.